Dear child, Larry Elder is the leading candidate to replace Gavin Newsom in the upcoming California governor's recall election. In a most recent interview with the LA Times Editorial Board, Elder was asked the question on how he would help solve the homelessness crisis in California. His answer is rooted in classical economic theory and specifically Adam Smith's invisible hand doctrine.
There's a book called The Tragedy of American Compassion, written by a guy named Marvin Olasky some years ago. And he talked about the Great Depression and how many families were eligible for aid, obviously. And many were eligible for aid but didn't take it. Fast forward, the ones that didn't take it ended up being far more self-sufficient, being far more prosperous than those that took the aid. Many of us in high school read a book called Democracy in America by Alexis de Tocqueville. This is a Frenchman who came to America, this brand new country, which was around 60, 70 years old. And he was amazed at all these, quote, mutual aid societies that were set up, not government, to help people who were homeless, to help people who needed insurance, to help people who needed to be housed. And he was struck by the charitable spirit of America. We are the most generous nation on the face of the earth. And I believe government involvement in welfare has made things worse. During the Great Depression, charitable giving skyrocketed. When FDR launched the so-called New Deal program, charitable giving still went up, but not nearly as sharply as it did before. People felt that they gave at the office. Years ago, I volunteered for the United Way. May I finish, please? And I was struck by how much of the money that was donated got down to the intended beneficiary. The private sector, nonprofit, religious organizations are far more effective and can do things far more cheaply than can government. So this problem needs to be tackled by them holistically with all the things I just now mentioned.
The invisible hand doctrine is best described as the unintended benefits to society by having individuals pursue their own self-interest. And to best illustrate this, I've had the chance to talk to a number of business owners and ask them a question which is very enlightening and insightful. And the question is, what would you like to accomplish with your money that is most meaningful to you? There are lots of middle-class Americans that would love to help out people, charities. And oftentimes, money is a barrier to helping out these charities because they feel like $10 or $20 is not enough. Have a watch of all these business owners as they answer the question, what would they like to accomplish with their money that would be most meaningful to them?
What would you like to accomplish with your money that would be most meaningful to you?
It's a great question, by the way. So I think I have always strived to maintain a comfortable lifestyle for my family, not wealthy, but a comfortable lifestyle for my family, both my wife, myself, and my boys. I am not someone who is looking to leave millions of dollars to my children such that they don't have to, work or what have you. That's not my style. I grew up pretty basic means myself. Grew up on a farm in Nicaragua and then in Costa Rica and then on a number of farms in the US in sort of rural situations. Blue collar family. My mom was a single mom for years as a teacher and what have you. So I am not sort of looking to leave millions or billions of dollars behind to support my children. I think my goal ultimately is to give back to my communities as best I can and also establish a comfortable retirement for my wife and myself. One of the things that I've found interesting during COVID, we don't have a whole heck of a lot of things that we can do, right? We can't necessarily go out and do all the things we used to do. And that's resulted in a lot of people focusing, I think, more and more on work. So I think your question is a great one, which is if you're going to work this hard to make the money that you make and perhaps make more money, what is your goal with that? And that's certainly one of mine, is to create a comfortable retirement lifestyle, not lavish, but comfortable for my wife and I. And we did plan ahead. Our children are both out of the house by the time we're 50. And they've been informed that they're not welcome to return. They can come visit, but they are not welcome to move back in. I think that happens a lot these days. So the idea is by 50, be ready to, try some different places, travel around, work particularly remotely now, why not? So London, Paris, Lisbon, what have you. And I did mention also giving back to my communities. Nicaragua is a very poor country, and I've certainly tried to invest in my hometown in Nicaragua directly through some friends and what have you, but also more generally. And go back to my high school as well. I've done my best to try to help out. It's a rural public school in upstate New York, not a lot of resources, and have tried to help them out as well. And then back at Harvard Law School and Tufts to give money to finance, in particular, financial aid for underprivileged and minority students.
There's no reason to support entities. There's a lot of reasons people say, well, I'm going to leave this much money to this university after I pass. Okay. Well, we found it more important that we like to be part of that university in the meantime, with our fiscal support, as well as our relationships that we developed to be able to, as a fundraiser yourself, you understand your fundraising was built on relationships. That's what got it done for you. We do a MAC concert here in Columbus for St. Jude's Hospital. We underwrite it, and then we take 100% of the proceeds and give it to St. Jude's Hospital. But our family takes an active role in that event. We take part of the planning, subscribing supporters, subscribing sponsors, et cetera, and partnerships, et cetera, et cetera. That is our formula. Our formula is one at a time, each family member, and building up their what means a lot to them.
So let me see if I can re-articulate what you
Sure.
just said, because I actually think this is the first time I've ever heard something like this before, and I think it's actually very brilliant, because it's a different way that I've ever heard someone express this, and that is, ultimately for you, the biggest way you could accomplish something with your money is really, again, through this systematic way of ensuring that not just through you, but through this system, and that system being your family, that they continue to contribute, to give, to get involved in that which is around them, that which impacts them. And so for you, that's what means the most.
Absolutely, because to perpetuate the legacy, right, takes the next generation to do it. I'm not going to cure cancer during my lifetime. We're not going to cure the problem of Children's Hospital with the Ronald McDonald House. We're going to stop all these children that are sick. We're not going to stop that. But the legacy of the involvement in the next generation, and the generation after that, and the generation after that, and the generation after that, has to be part of the legacy.
I think the most meaningful, like you said, I love watching people grow. I love the aspect of my mom, as my mentor, my inspiration. She was a pioneer in automotive industry. She was truly a trailblazer. She opened up so many doors for us, and the way she made and touched so many lives. If there was a way that I could encompass that or empower that or carry on her legacy, that would be the most to me. So family 100% is families first. We always say that our motto is family, the family deal. But if there was a way to honor her, to carry out her legacy of empowering more women, like we have close to 600 women right now that we currently employ, but I love to see it grow. I love to be mentors, like you said, and watching people grow. I really thrive on that. So if there was a way to get that connected, I would.
What would you like to accomplish with your money that is most meaningful to you?
I think, again, solving problems by investing in them, in the solutions, is what I want to do with my money. And it's what I've been doing, and it's what I want going forward. I'm getting ready to invest in a business that is doing 3D printing of houses in Latin America, trying to solve homelessness. And
okay.
it's an amazing business, but it's the same thing. It's looking at where can you innovate, how can you recycle capital and invest in a solution that really has the potential to be a game changer for people. So